All right. I have a story here that you sent over earlier in the week.
Okay.
And this kind of goes along with our thought process all along, even though we've delivered it in a different way.
Okay.
But apparently, and this is where I'm thinking in a serious mode here.
Okay.
Because I have, in my opinion, I have this acumen for teaching or explaining or guiding, if you will.
Okay.
Because this latest generation, this millennial generation, are such failures at life, and in general.
Okay.
And I can't blame them specifically. I blame their parents.
Sure.
There's a new school out there, and this kind of goes with the whole life coaching thing.
Yeah.
There's a school who teaches people how to grow up.
Oh, that sounds good.
So the teaching that you needed to receive as a young adult growing up in a household where parents are supposed to be responsible for your upbringing and teaching you how to manage in life per se.
Yeah.
Well, because they failed so miserably at this and these kids are floundering out there.
Right.
Now people are profiting from teaching these kids how to be adults.
It's a good idea.
It is a good idea. It's the whole life coaching concept.
Sure.
And if I was in a more lucrative city, I personally would pursue this whole life coaching thing because that seems to be a very lucrative thing.
Why don't you do it by Skype?
Well, I guess you could do that.
Charge them like $60-$80 an hour. And just give them a time. 7 o'clock. We'll have an hour.
Yeah, we'll have a Skype session where I'm going to teach you what to do every day.
And we'll talk about what you're thinking. You'll tell me what you're thinking about doing this week, and I'll tell you everywhere that's wrong and tell you what you should do instead.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you'll pay me $80. Think about that, dude.
I'm going to have to.
It's not a bad plan.
Yeah.
I can build the website for that.
I mean, for me personally, you've known me for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And I think that I've got some pretty good common sense.
Yeah.
To where I could actually mentor or teach somebody who's kind of floundering in their life and kind of get them on the right track.
Right.
But I do that for free every day almost anyway.
Be funny if you did this for like 2 years and then like every 20 to 30 year old within 30 miles of where you live, there would be like this epidemic of people that don't want to go out or open their Christmas presents.
That'd be great.
Great. I could just see the Channel 8 news story now. A new trend here in Chicago as kids are not opening their Christmas presents.
Right.
After the life coaching of one Wendell Neeley, kids are just filling their closets with presents.
Right.
That'd be great.
They're learning how to be less what's the word I'm looking for?
What? Personable?
No, not personable. Materialistic.
Yeah.
They're being less materialistic and more self-conscious.
Right. As the primary instructor at the Neeley School for the Pussified.
Right.
And now we'll speak with Wendell Neeley.
Right.
Wendell, what are you teaching these kids today?
Exactly.
Do you worry, Wendell, that these kids might turn out to be a little antisocial? Of course not, Bill.
No, I'm teaching them life skills to keep them out of trouble.
Look at Carolina cookie cutter in the thing. And yes, I said cutter, not burner. Moogle would fail his class.
My name is Joe Campbell. About 9 months ago, I had a pain in my right leg, and just kept getting worse. A lady at my physician.
Wrong one.
I was going to say, what is that?
That isn't what I was looking for.
Okay.
But, let's see here. There we go.
MBA students at TCU's Neeley School of Business wrapped up a tough semester where they learned real-world experience is a great teacher.
As I told my chauffeur, Seamus, the other day, Seamus, you got to back it up a little. You're in too deep. It hurts.
Working in small teams, graduate students served as consultants to area businesses that faced a problem.
You've never worked a day in your fucking life. You've never paid your fucking dues at all. You're just a privileged little backwoods fuck.
The Neeley School calls this class experiential learning. The students spend some time in class, but most of their work takes place in the field.
How about you, young lady? Can you start my car while I drink my beer?
Classic Metal Show.
Jesus, did I put that together?
No, that was a Wheezy production.
All right, that sounded like one of my old ones.
That was a Wheezy production.
That's good. I like that.
The Neeley School of Business.
Never thought you'd have an actual use for it, did you?
Right. So good.
Wow, and that had some old school players in
It
there.
did.
Well in there.
And Evil Batman.
Wow. Old times.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yep.
All right. Adult isn't just a noun anymore. It has been verbed as in, Mom says I need to get a job and move out. I guess it's time to start adulting.
Right.
Adulting. And now there's a school to teach you just that. If you have millennial kids, you might want to tell them. So this is where I enjoy this the most, because you're a failed parent. I'm going to capitalize and have you pay me to raise your kid.
Yeah.
You're going to pay me dearly. Portland, Maine entrepreneur Rachel Weinstein and Katie Brunel just opened the Adulting School, where students can gain access to everything you need to lead a successful financial and personal life. And the millennial instructions are often, as you might imagine, boomers and Gen Xers.
Oh, boy.
Most popular over 50 are adept at the practical life skills necessary to be successful adults. Since the baby boomer generation was more inclined to learn these skills from their parents or from the school they attended, it is confusing to most of them as to how these skills ended up dropping off.
Right.
Well, you're a parent, Chris. Can you answer any of this?
No, because I didn't let this happen.
Right, exactly. Did you witness any of this happening among your children's parental guidance or their peers or whatever?
Of course.
So what did you see?
Oh, what did I see where they were failing?
Yeah, so your kids came home from school or wherever, and they were hanging out with their friends or whatever, and their friends were doing this or that, and you go, what the fuck are they thinking?
Oh, dude, let me just tell you about their one friend.
Okay.
They had their one friend. I won't name him, for not that anybody would know, but I'll just leave the name out of it because it's kind of illegal. He was this is when they were all about 15, I guess. And they had one friend that was just off the rails, drinking all the time, high all the time, getting suspended in school for fucking constantly being high and, failing all his classes, everything. And the parents would never bust him out. They would never be like, you're fucking grounded. They tried to parent him by buying him into being good. Well, maybe if we buy him an Xbox, he'll act better. Well, maybe if we buy him every game that he wants, then he'll be better because he'll be preoccupied with that and won't be able to act up. And you know what happened? The kid just had everything in the world, so he had no reason to fucking act right.
Yeah, there's no reason to achieve because it's just handed to you.
Yeah. And at some point that argument came up in my house about, well, this kid gets this when I was like, get me a fucking hammer. And I took a hammer to a PlayStation. I was like, this is what you get when you fucking act up. Boom. smashed PlayStation. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Don't fuck up. Period. Don't fuck up. Act right, you can have everything you want, but fucking act wrong, and I will fucking smash your shit to pieces. And I did. I smashed open a $400 fucking PlayStation.
Nice.
When one of them acted up. I was like, that's it. Don't have that anymore. You know what? My kids didn't fuck up very much. Honestly, I mean, I didn't have any drug problems. I didn't have any pregnancies. I didn't have any arrests. I had, I think, 2 fights in 12 years with the boys, and really nothing with my daughter. So, there was no fucking, and they still don't fuck up. They turned 24 this week. One runs the fucking pinball place. One co-runs Aiken IT with me because I raised them right. I raised them to fucking achieve, not to be douchebags sitting around waiting for somebody to fucking hand them something.
Right.
Yeah, but I saw it a lot. I saw it a lot more than you might think. And most of those kids that were just handed everything were fucking idiots.
Of course.
They're idiots now. They're doing nothing. They're just fucking bums.
All right.
It's sad when you see it because, you did watch these kids grow up and they grew up to be pieces of shit.
Right.
But that's what they choose.
Sure. So some of those boomers will pass on those skills by becoming adulting school teachers. And as Brunel says, advocates for young adults. Right now, the adulting school offers monthly live webinars called assemblies. Right. How to rock your next interview is scheduled for March 28th. Starting in April, school will be in session in earnest with online classes available for a $19.99 monthly subscription, plus, of course, a private Facebook group. Of course, content and lessons will be added monthly. The school's 4 verticals and our finances, make it, fix it, relationships and community, and health and wellness.
Dude, this sounds like you. This sounds like a me and you project.
It is, absolutely.
You can do all this stuff and record videos and shit, and I'll put it up on a private page and we'll charge people.
Sure.
We'll release a new video every week.
Right.
For only $18.99 a month.
There you go.
I think we got something here.
I think so. Many lessons will include such topics as how to fold a fitted sheet or remove a red wine stain.
Ooh.
Wow.
Red wine stain?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's use a little salt on that.
Right.
Students in the Portland area can also attend local events at bars and restaurants where they can learn skills they've been missing, something as happy hour events, examples of a few local sessions, an insider's guide to buying your first home, and a financial workup on managing money. Tickets for the financial workup are $75 for 3 hours of instruction, plus dinner and booze.
Nice.
Plus dinner and booze.
It'd be okay if I teach them how to lie to get pussy. I could run that class.
Sure. Remember those? Remember when you were in school and about probably like about the 5th grade where they separated the boys and the girls got that talk?
Oh yeah.
Well, this would be that time where they separated the boys and the girls, but the guys got that talk.
Yeah. Okay, boys. Here's what this is your dick. It's meant to find that little 3x6.
Right.
That's wet in between that girl's legs.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you may not have known that there was a 3x6 wet spot there, but there is.
Sure.
It's 3 inches long by 6 inches deep. And conveniently, that should pretty much fit most of you fucking losers with some room to spare. So get to it. Let's practice here. Here's your toilet paper roll. Let's get practiced here. Squeeze into that. What the hell? Are they really having to do kids? Can you imagine just hearing this? Can you imagine having to accept that you're such a loser that you need this class?
That's my point. Is it really the kid's fault or is it the parents' fault?
Well, it doesn't matter whose fault. If you need it, if you need the course, that's just got to be embarrassing to sign up. Can you imagine going out to the first bar social and looking around saying, man, I'm with these fucking guys? This is my peer group? There's 33 people here and not a single one of them has ever sniffed a pussy. It's like, oh, how can I be part of this?
Now then, tell me, what did Miggs say to you? Multiple Miggs in the next cell. He hissed at you. What did he say?
He said, I can smell your cunt.
I see. I myself cannot.
All right. That was at their ice cream social, right?
That was it.
All I smell is blueberry ice cream. What's
Exactly.
Hey, watch, she got a cone sticking in her twat.
Sure.
He's got a cone sticking in her twat, and he's trying to find the non-wet spot so he can eat the cone.
Exactly.
See, you're doing it wrong, son.
Yeah.
Go for the wet part of the cone. Leave the ice cream alone. It's like training a dog. You know, it's like you smack them on the nose when they put their nose in the wrong place.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
The adulting school idea sprang into the psychotherapist Weinstein's mind when she saw a sign for an insurance company offering to teach grown-up insurance stuff to young adults. She then called her friend Brunel, a former elementary school teacher turned health coach and business brand promotion and sales guru. Wow.
Here, all right, now stop right there for a second. So, to be clear, this is two women that are going to be teaching men how to be men.
Well, it's two women teaching millennials how to be adults.
But half of that is two women teaching men how to be men.
Well, I guess if you want to really narrow it down, perhaps it would.
How do you not see that as a horrific idea?
Well, it's a horrific idea, correct, if you're thinking that two women are going to teach men how to be men, but, you know, that's just 50% of the demographic.
It's like adding to the problem.
Well, maybe. Perhaps.
You know, it's like if you cooked a fish and you decided that it tasted like a fish out of the ocean and you took a bite of it and it tasted a little bit salty to you. It's like pouring more salt on it, hoping that if you pour enough salt on it, then you won't taste as much of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is like. The problem is that half of the problem is that the men in these kids' lives as parents didn't act like men. They let their wives raise all their kids and let their kids grow up to be pussies.
Well, yeah, that is an issue. I agree.
So the solution can't be to have more women come in and boss the kids and tell them how to be men.
Well, the thing is that these two women obviously took the initiative to establish a quote-unquote service like this.
Yeah.
Whether you have a problem with it or not, or whether the result is going to be what we consider successful or not, it's just that they took the initiative to launch a service that would somehow coach or mentor these young people into, making better decisions for themselves.
Nathan hit it right on the head. Two cunts teaching pussies not to be fags.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bad idea.
Well, it's not a bad idea. It may you may need more directed teaching. You know, maybe have some male, coaches or whatever to teach men a little more.
This is, first of all, I will guarantee you, as sure as the fucking sun is remotely warm, that the fucking two bitches in this are absolute libs. I will guarantee, because people that are from the other side would not allow this kind of weakness. So they would not think about a school for the weakness. They would not want to be engaged in anything dealing with weakness like this.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got libs. So what kind of agenda are you going to get? You're not going to get adulting. You're going to get these guys are going to know how to balance checkbooks, but but they're going to spend more time fucking trying to, here's how you get along with transgenders in the modern world.
Yeah, okay. Well, perhaps you're right, because this is up in the upper northwest, which is predominantly a liberal bastion up there. Yeah, I agree.
This is,
but the concept, regardless if it's the West Coast or upper Northwest or whatever, is an interesting one, and I agree with you that that's something you and I could probably excel at.
Yeah, we would have to advertise as such, though. We would have to be like liberal agenda, stay home. We would have to. And don't you think these people should say, look, if you're looking to raise, and I hate to bring politics into this, but I think you almost have to, don't you? You almost have to say this is a school for liberal adults, or this is a school for conservative adults. You can't just say that it's for adults.
Well, how about just common sense?
Okay, that would be at the conservative school.
Well, but the thing is you can interpret that any way you want.
Yeah, but then you're going to lead people to the wrong idea. When me or you would be teaching it, and little 23-year-old Johnny asks you, well, how do you deal with transgenders? You say you don't. You say, look, fucker, you're born a guy. That's the answer.
Right.
You don't fucking coddle them. Clearly that's not going to go over well.
With who?
If a libtard fucking enrolled little Johnny into this school.
Well, then you say, I guess this isn't the class for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to the media about what you're teaching.
Yeah, so
you would have to agendize this. You would have to make it clear that it is for conservative or Republican people. You would have to, because if you didn't, then you would have people up in arms within halfway through the first class. You would. You don't think so?
I'm gonna agree with you that you're gonna get some blowback from people who don't agree with your methods of teaching. Sure,
right. That's what I'm saying. It would be a mess immediately. That's why you would have to say this is the fucking liberal course and this is the conservative course. And if we were smart, we'd offer them both.
Sure.
And we would just write the same. We would write up one, and then we would just change every sentence to be the opposite and teach the other one too.
Right.
And we make all the fucking money just by lying to one side or the other.
There you go.
I'm in. Let's do it.
The adulting school site says Weinstein told Brunel, I have this thing, an idea, and everyone loves it, but I don't know what to do with it. And then added, I know what. I need to help you to help me.
Okay.
You may be thinking, can't millennials just learn this kind of stuff by watching YouTube videos on things like changing a tire and folding a fitted sheet? Perhaps, but Weinstein and Brunel would tell you that the videos aren't classes. YouTube has no back and forth between the teacher and the student, except maybe in the comments section. That's hardly a substitute for having a dedicated teacher available to answer questions in an online chat room or by way of email, as the adulting school will.
Ooh.
So it's interactive.
Yeah, pal.
If you're interested in becoming an adulting school teacher, you can apply at this school site. Just bear in mind that for now, the school isn't paying its instructors. So what's the purpose? Why would you do that?
They said we're charging.
Yeah.
They're charging for enrollment.
Yeah.
Who's taking that money?
They are.
But they're not going to pay. Wow.
Well, this is like the Huffington Post.
Yeah, wow, Tucker. Again, going back to my statement earlier about these are obviously two libs.
Well, isn't that what happened to the Huffington Post? That Ariana Huffington, she started that Huffington Post, and all these journalists, quote unquote, fledgling journalists, donated their works and their interviews and their pieces and their scripts and all that shit to it, and then she turned around and sold it for like $1 billion. And none of those people got shit.
Yeah, they didn't get anything.
They got nothing.
Yeah, they didn't even get the rights to their articles
back. She walked away with millions of dollars and they got nothing.
See ya. Wish I was her.
Yeah.
Jesus.
As a new startup company, we've been asking our teachers to provide one mini lesson for our online school, a short video intro with takeaways like something downloadable. Most teachers are interested in providing this because it promotes their business or service and gives them worldwide exposure and an audience. Now, how did they get worldwide exposure?
Putting up a website?
Yeah, well, that's my point. It's just like, what did they do to where they're worldwide known?
Google Ads?
Since the adulting school operates in a tech-savvy, heavy environment, teachers need the ability to make and edit a video and upload it to a website or a storage service like Dropbox or Google Drive.
Okay, wow.
But Weinstein and Brunel ultimately plan to expand their offerings, which would result in teachers getting paid. We are in the process of reformatting parts of our online school that will include more course-like lessons and would involve compensating teachers.
I'm glad to see that they're working on providing payment for, instruction.
Yeah.
That's a nice perk.
Sure.
What kind of shit is this?
Yeah, not only do you teach a class, but you may or may not get paid.
And probably could get sued.
Yeah.
For hurting someone's feelings.
Right. Because somebody might go home butthurt about something.
I don't like that they said I have to stand up for myself. I don't like it, Mom. Don't make me go back. That's okay, son. Just take your spot back in my basement.
Sure. All right.